G'day guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoyed today's bloody good content, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie. Let's get right into it. Cheers. Posted by user AdeptPins, titled, Am I the asshole here for considering breaking up with my fiance because he ran away when we were being attacked? My fiance, 24 male, and I, 24 female, have been dating for 6 years. He proposed to me a few months ago, which was the happiest moment of my life. We set our wedding date for this December. However, after what happened last night, I am seriously considering breaking up with my fiancé and am unsure if I am an asshole. My fiancé, my brother, and I were all walking back to our car from dinner at a nice restaurant. The car was parked pretty far away as the place was packed, so we had to walk quite some distance. It was late at night, and as we were walking, a person on a bike came to the side of us and stopped us and demanded that we give everything that we had. My fiancé panicked and just ran away, but my brother, after talking to the man for a couple of minutes, just attacked the man, and long story short, my brother beat him up. The man had no weapon, it was just a fake gun. I called my fiancé after that and told him that everything was fine and that we would pick him up. My fiancé still seemed a bit shaken, but I explained to him everything was alright, and my fiancé thanked my brother a lot. However, I just felt extremely weird, and sort of disappointed that my fiancé just ran away. I understand that it was his natural instinct, but seeing my brother take the attacker down, and in comparison to my fiancé just running away, I just feel like I lost a lot of love for my fiancé after last night. I spoke with my brother this morning to get his opinion, and he said I should still give my fiancé a chance, and that my fiancé loves me, and what happened last night is not a normal occurrence. However, I just told him that I just got a massive ick, and I don't think this ick will ever go away. Am I the asshole here? In the comments, Crafty Special says, My issue is that he ran away and left you behind to defend yourself. Like, if his instinct was to run away, he should have also grabbed you to run away with him. Yeah, that part. Even when my husband and I are out and it's dark, he will tighten his grip on my hand and put his other arm around me and walk faster while kinda shielding me to keep safe. Not once has he just left me there in a parking lot. Left her and didn't check on her also. Or call the police, or get help. Like, where did he run to? Is this guy related to the husband who ran away when his wife and niece and baby nephew were attacked by a dog, closing the gate behind him when he fled? Also, definitely not the asshole. He had a flight response, potentially like a reflex, but he didn't check on OP and he didn't go to get help. And those two actions, or inactions, speak to the kind of husband he will be. Running away is in 99% of such events the only right move. The deal breaker was he ran away alone and not make sure that you were next to him. Your feelings are valid, so you are not the asshole. However, you guys are incredibly lucky he only had a fake gun. Sorry for the reality check, but in most cases in this situation, your brother would be dead by now, and who knows what would have happened to you afterwards. People who are professionally trained to fight like law enforcement or military will always tell you that your first choice should always be to run. Even though they're trained and know how to respond and can likely overpower their opponent nearly every single time, they know better than anyone that the safest thing to do is avoid the conflict altogether. It only takes a split second to end up dead. Hit your head wrong, get stabbed in the wrong spot, get shot, whatever. It can all be over in an instant. It worked out here for the brother, but only because they encountered a criminal who didn't want to actually kill people. If this guy had a real gun, or was willing to kill them, OP and her brother would be dead. But as everyone else has said, bailing out on a partner in need is definitely not acceptable. Yeah, I don't really know how else to argue that point. I feel like yes, in order to survive, OP's partner chose the right decision, OP did not. They both have different responses to very stressful situations, and you can't really know how you're going to react to a situation like that until you're in it. And I agree that does tell you how he's going to react to similar situations in the future, and is that someone that you are accepting of being with? Is that how you would ideally want a partner to react when things get more stressful than they should be, when things are very scary? I think it's very lucky that they actually survived this encounter because it seems as though they ran into the right criminal. If they ran into the wrong criminal, this would be a very different story. I think it's a lack of self-awareness and empathy on the partner's part where he didn't just grab his partner and run with her. Though, fight or flight response, he wasn't thinking in the moment. This is something he should have prepared himself for ahead of time, but you never think that you're going to get robbed like this. And you can't exactly train your fight or flight response to be like, grab my partner and run. Especially if this hasn't happened to him before. I don't know. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I know that you'd cook me for those opinions. I'm just trying to think of alternatives for this situation. But ultimately, what is done, and I don't blame you, OP. I don't think you're the asshole for considering breaking up with him because of what's happened. And now, onto the updates. So I've broken up with my fiance. I did it this quick because it was not fair to him or to me to keep this relationship just stringing along. Yes, I loved him a lot and will always cherish the memories that I had with him, but after the incident last night, I just don't have that same love for him anymore, and I don't think I ever will. To be clear, I don't blame him for what he did in running away. It was his natural instinct, and I completely understand that. But when my brother instinctively stepped in front of me to shield me from the attacker, in comparison to my fiancé just running away scared, it pretty much evaporated most, if not all, of my feelings for my fiancé. I've just learned about myself that one of my love languages is safety and security. Damn, that's crazy, because my love language is danger and insecurity. I let my fiancé know, and I apologized, and I told him that I don't blame him at all for what happened the previous night. My fiancé was devastated, and he did cry a lot, but after some time, he said that he understood my decision. I still feel really guilty about it because my fiancé is a really kind and sweet man, but it wouldn't be fair to him if my heart wasn't in it. He deserves to be in a relationship with someone who loves him for who he is, and I deserve to find someone who I wholly love. In the comments, Spartan says, I've read both articles, and I think if he bolted while dragging his then fiancé with him, the situation may have turned out different. From what I can read, it's not the running away that's the issue for OP, it's the fact that he ran off by himself, aka saving his own skin. I think this is true. I've been in the exact situation, but with a friend. I just asked him, do you want to run? He said yes, so we did. To run off without making sure that you're not just abandoning the other person or people is an issue, and I would break up with that person. They don't have your back. Same, was in a similar situation with a friend, and she whispered to me, I think we need to run. So I grabbed her and we ran together. I wouldn't have dreamt of running without grabbing her first. I can't blame her, I also can't blame him. But no one wants a person that they can't rely on. Yup. Poor guy will probably lose sleep over this for the rest of his life, but she's never going to look at him as someone who's got her back. Dude had a flight moment. No fault of his own there. What was his fault was not calling the cops or getting help. That is on him. Well, that's the thing. It's normal to have a fight or flight response, and it's not like you can choose them. It would be better if he ran with her, but again, it's just an instinctual reaction. But once he stopped running, why didn't he call the cops, or look for help, or even run back to see if she was okay? The only thing I could add to that is that we don't all know how we're going to react when we have a gun pointed to our head, and I think it's unrealistic to have someone pointing a gun at your head and you say to the person next to you, hey, we should run. Because that guy with the gun pointed to your head is just going to say, you run, I'm going to kill you. What are you going to do in that situation? But also, yes, I can fault him for not doing anything after running away. He would have had some sympathy if the cops had been called. That's the first thing you do. You get to somewhere safe, you call the cops, and you be like, hey, I did as much as I could given my actions. I'm sorry that I did that to you. But I agree, it's very messed up that he just ran away and they had to go find him. That's a complete deal breaker, and it's completely understandable why OP feels the way that she does. He needs some serious work on himself to fix how he reacts to situations and his thought processes directly after stressful situations like that. I feel like that's something that's going to carry forward into the rest of his life and be very detrimental if he doesn't get on top of it. Thank you for sharing your story with us, OP. Our next post is by user Strict Trouble, titled, "Am I the asshole here for telling our family and friends that my best friend has herpes because she outed me as a lesbian? I, 25 female, and my best friend Emma, female 26, have been friends since elementary school, and I honestly thought of her as a sister. We tell each other everything, went to the same college, and even though we have 2 different jobs, we work in the same area. Emma was my rock for years as I battled self-hate and depression due to growing up in a small conservative town as not only a person of color, but a closeted lesbian. Emma didn't know that I was a lesbian, just knew that I was unhappy, never staying long in relationships, self-isolation, and later I developed anorexia. Emma was the one who suggested that we go to an out-of-state college, and later suggested that we move out of state too. I've gotten much better since then, and for that, I genuinely thank her. Though about 2 years ago, Emma contracted herpes from some guy she slept with, and it's been very hard for her to land a boyfriend since then, and it's made her very lonely. She hasn't told her family or friends about it because she doesn't want to be seen as gross. Due to this, I haven't really put myself in the dating field, and have put off coming out. Though about 6 months ago, I met this girl at a craft store. Long curly hair, dressed in all black with big eyeliner and ruby lipstick. I couldn't stop staring at her, and I admit when she smiled at me, I kind of followed her around the store. I know, creepy. I eventually worked up the courage to just ask her for a number, and she gave it to me. I was so excited. I started texting her that night, and since then, we've been hanging out a ton, and I think she likes me back. I was going to ask her out, but since I live with Emma, I decided that I should come out since I'll be bringing her around if the girl says yes. So after work, I sat her down and I told her that I was a lesbian. I said all the anguish that I went through growing up was because of my self-hate. How I wish I could have told her earlier, but I never found the right time, but now that I was in love with someone, I felt like I should tell her that she was the one person that I trusted with this information. She just stared at me, shocked for a few seconds, and then her face turned from shock to disgust. She jumped back and accused me of being a pervert and how I was gross for being around her so much knowing I was gay. Even mentioning how she's gotten changed around me and I'm no better than some creepy man. I tried explaining that I had no romantic feelings for her and I honestly had a crush on someone else. She wouldn't buy it and she locked herself in her room. Later, my phone started ringing off the hook, and to my surprise, it was tons of messages from my family and our friend group, either calling me homophobic slurs or asking if it was true that I liked Emma. My mother even called to scream at me a few times, and apparently I'm disowned. I started banging on the door and asked her why the hell she outed me to everyone, and she just started calling me a pervert again. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. You want to play? Fine. I had a picture of her diagnosis, and I sent it to her parents and our friend group. According to the only friend who didn't shit on me, people are talking more about Emma than me because she still shares stuff even though she has herpes. Now they're grossed out and accusing her of trying to infect them with her diseases, along with some slut-shaming. Now I'm looking for a new apartment and I'm still planning to ask the girl out this week, but I was told by Emma's parents that I ruined her reputation and labeled their daughter as a dirty HOE. I feel bad, but I feel like she deserved it. Though I know that a disease and sexuality are 2 different things, so I'm wondering if I was really wrong to do that. Edit. Since some had asked, I'll make another edit tomorrow. I'm asking her out tonight. I made reservations at this new Thai place that she's been wanting to try, and then I'm going to take her to Boardwalk and ask her out there, as to not put her on the spot in front of a ton of people. See y'all then, hope it goes well. Edit 2. I'm about to go pick up Ruby. A commenter has been calling my crush Ruby, and I think that's pretty cute, so that's what I'm going to be referring to her as. Anyway, for some context, since it was asked, Emma is staying with a family friend who lives around here because her parents don't want us fighting. My lease is up soon and hopefully I've locked down something by then. At least I'll be able to be alone now. Anyway, wish me luck. In the comments, everyone sucks here, but you less than the others. Emma is the asshole for outing you, and Emma's family are assholes for saying contracting herpes makes her a dirty HOE. You retaliated against Emma in a way that you knew would hurt her, which is perfectly understandable, but still an asshole move. She blew up your life though, and that's not fair at all. I know you'll be okay. Hearing slurs from your family and friends is terrible, and I'm sorry that happened, but they've revealed themselves as assholes. OP replies, honestly, it was a pretty surreal experience. I thought maybe they'd be mad, but completely disowning me. I'm happy I came out after my parents paid for my college because just wow. Honestly, I feel like I stooped down to her level by doing so, but it kind of made me feel like I was deserving of the hate and that I didn't deserve to be able to come out. Though I'm going to try to push through these thoughts and have a successful relationship. Thank you so much for your kind words. In reply to a homophobic commenter, the commenter was heavily downvoted. I included it because I liked OP's response. OP says, I didn't see her romantically, and I was in the closet. There literally was no reason for me to be weird about it. I stated that she was essentially my sister, and I would never think of her that way. Just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm going to be attracted to every woman. Plus, lesbians still use locker rooms with straight women, and legit nothing happens. You make no sense. Also, I didn't deliberately get into nothing. My parents were harassing me about not dating boys, so when a boy asked me out, I just said yes, but broke up with them because I didn't like leading them on. It's not about keeping up appearances, it was about safety. The things that were said to me, the threats that I got, you can't even imagine. You have no idea what it's like to be forced into a role and have no way of getting out. I only came out to her because I felt safe. Instead, she put me in an unsafe situation, put all of my business on the table with added lies. Also, I came to her saying that I was in love with another woman. What told her that I was in love with her? Nothing. She just made it up. Not the asshole. I find it very interesting that her first reaction was disgust about you possibly being attracted to her, which is so typically ignorant. She even told your friends that you're into her, like, how narcissistic is that? Newsflash, lesbians aren't attracted to every woman they see, and bisexuals aren't attracted to everything. OP replies, honestly, that's what surprised me the most. Like the fact that she assumed that I was crushing on her. I've never acted in that manner towards her. I feel like a lot of the flack that I'm getting from my family and friends is because she spinned some weird story to actually make me look like a creep. My friend, who is still talking to me, told me that she said that she's describing me as some locker room peeping Tom. This doesn't help that I was an athlete in high school, so I had to be in the locker room with other women. I can only imagine what's being said about me. Soft, not the asshole, because you did the right thing for the wrong reasons. Sure, outing someone's disease/health issues/whatever like that is generally a dick move, and granted I do have a soft spot for petty revenge and mess around find out consequences, but she still shared stuff. OP says, yeah, I kept trying to get her to stop sharing stuff with people, but she said she's on the medication so it's okay. I don't care though. I keep all my cups and bowls in my room and my toothbrush. Not that I didn't trust her, but it only takes one mess up, and she wasn't taking anything seriously. What was Emma's reaction to being outed as sexually active with an STI? OP says, she called me a big ol' B-word among other things. She also said she was glad that she had herpes, because I probably would have tried to R-word her. Genuinely insane. She's staying at a relative's house who lives around here until our lease runs out. Everyone sucks here. Like the above poster said, you would have eventually came out. Seriously, you would have. She just got you there faster. It was messed up, but it would have happened. Her medical diagnosis was her business. In some places, you can get in trouble for what you did. You should have picked something else if you needed a tit for tat. OP says, what other secret was I going to pick? She literally had people wanting to kill me before I sent out that she had herpes. They still want to kill me, but they are focusing more on her sharing things even though she knows she has it. You're mentioning people who don't know that they have it and still share. She knows she has it and is still sharing stuff. Also, I know how common herpes is. That's why I didn't give an F when she told me that she had it. I just got annoyed when she had active infections and tried sharing drinks with me. That's why she went on the meds, because she had both genital and oral, and they were constant. Other than that, didn't care. Though the community I live in is super religious and judgy, so all they hear is herpes. So since they aren't getting violent with me, they can be disgusted with her. They aren't going to hurt her over it, but they will hurt me. Which is why I will never be able to see my family or friends again. Also, there is no legal trouble that I can get in my state for doing that because I didn't tell her job. I'm pretty sure that she can get in more trouble for harassing me, yelling slurs, and putting me in a potentially fatal situation. Inciting violence on a gay person sounds kinda like a hate crime, I won't lie. Saying that I was going to eventually come out is screwed up. This isn't like something you just do. Like, I can be hurt over coming out. I was supposed to be able to weigh the risk and benefits, but she took that away from me. Because of how dangerous it is, some people never come out and stay in the closet their whole life. Another commenter says, it also helped reduce the negative reactions to the private information that Emma revealed. OP's mum disowned OP for this. I'd say if Emma started the fire, OP can use her to reduce it. OP replies, that's exactly what happened. A good chunk of people who were threatening to show up to my apartment and kill me are now upset with Emma. Especially from what I hear, her brother and sister-in-law are the most mad because she had been kissing up on their baby like last year. She had been on the medication, no active infections, and it wasn't on the mouth, so the baby is fine, but they don't understand how herpes works. Honestly, my town's ignorance to everything is really shooting her in the foot right now. She still could have been shedding the virus and could have killed the baby. OP says, oh damn, I thought it was just newborns that it killed. The baby was 7 months at the time. The baby doesn't seem to have contracted it luckily, but damn. Yeah, they aren't overreacting, especially if she could have potentially killed their baby. Though to be honest, I think they just didn't want their kid to seem dirty because most of the commenters consisted of them saying that she tried to spread her STDs to a child. After hearing all of that was a lot of extra information. I think the only fair judgment you can give here is really everyone sucks here, but on OP's side, it's a justified you're the asshole. Because it's two you're the assholes, so everyone sucks here. The friends obviously is completely unjustified as to what she did, because she knew what spreading that information would do to OP and her life. She knew that she would be putting OP's life in danger by doing all of that. And yet this friend of hers knowingly lied by omission to everyone around her, potentially spreading herpes to everyone, potentially killing a baby by trying to spread herpes to that child. I feel like everything she's done is so much worse than OP in this situation. I can understand people's hatred and not liking OP for sharing that diagnosis and being like, you can go to jail for doing something like that. But if I were to extrapolate this situation, it's like OP being stabbed, and then people being upset that OP decides to stab that other person back. It's like, whoa, you could kill that person for doing that. You're an asshole, buddy. It's like, yeah, but they're trying to kill me. Am I not allowed to respond with reasonable force? Am I a worse person for responding back? Like, I want to say not the asshole, but I know logically that OP is still an asshole for doing what they do, though I think they are justified. And now, onto the updates. So, as I stated in my last post, Emma is now staying with a relative in our area until our lease ends. The actual update on this morning is that Emma's parents were at my door. They flew out because Emma is refusing to step back into our apartment. So I let them come inside because I wasn't about to hold Emma's stuff hostage, but I did something stupid. See, they didn't really want to speak to me, which was fine, but I decided to just wait in my room until they left. Emma and I have an emergency fund that had about $5,000 in it. I put in roughly $2,700, and they took it. The entire thing. Once I noticed, I called them back to give me my money because not all of it is hers. And they told me that I earn more than Emma, and this was compensation for ruining her reputation. I was like, so it's okay that she tried to screw me over first? And their response was, Emma did not choose this disease, you chose yours. I didn't even respond to that. I just hung up. Honestly, I don't even care. They didn't take anything else other than the money. I genuinely don't want to see them anymore. Emma has also been cut off from her siblings because they have kids, and she was kissing the babies without letting the parents know of her diagnosis. She also usually was not taking proper precautions during active outbreaks. So yeah, now none of her siblings want her around them because they feel betrayed. Though, on a lighter note, me and Ruby are officially dating. A commenter kept referring to her as Ruby, and honestly I think that matches. We went out to a fancy Thai spot, watched a movie, and then I took her to the water at the edge of the city. I had some stupid playlist set up. I was trying to tone it down, but I couldn't. I was too excited. I told her how beautiful I thought she was, how I enjoyed spending time with her, and if she was okay with it, if I could take her out on a date sometime. I had a whole speech prepared, but one of the comments told me that I should be simple to not scare her. She laughed at me and said, "This was the first date." So that was a yes. I dropped her off at her house and she gave me a kiss before she left, and I'm so happy. I've never kissed a girl before. Grah. So yeah, I actually give zero craps about the money. I just want them out so I can start my new life. Anyways, that was all. Thanks a lot for the advice and support. A commenter says, "To be honest, I'm pissed by the fact that they stole your money. Regardless, I guess that this was a good ending after all. Good for you, OP." And OP says, "I'll recover. I have my own separate savings, but this honestly was just rubbing salt in the wound. I'd be calling the police and getting my money back, but how OP didn't think about this before the parents came over is beyond me. I can see the cops being totally useless here, but small claims might work, though I'm not sure if OP would need to sue Emma or her parents, probably just sue them all and let the judge sort it out." Lot of commenters in the original who don't know what gay panic's original definition was, huh? That's a thing with younger queers especially. A lot of them use gay panic as a term for the gender I'm attracted to makes me get all flustered. They've never heard the original term. We used to call that a sexuality crisis, damn it. That's a joke. Seriously though, it's disheartening to see how little young queers know about our history. I can't wait for the day that gay panic can be used like that, but for now, it makes me cringe when I hear it used incorrectly. Yup, I feel right on the cusp sometimes as a mid-millennial. The first gay person I can remember seeing on TV was Matthew Shepard. When I came out to my father, I was bawling, even though he was the most liberal man that I knew. I asked my friend once if he remembered the day of silences that occurred at schools, if he remembered when Boston College said they shouldn't have a gay rights group. My supervisor at an old job was a gay man in his 70s and had been with his partner since 1982. He was from NYC. Almost none of his friends survived. He used to tell the gay teens that he worked with how the gay community, we have our own mass graves. We have fought our own war, not just against other countries or religions, but against our own families and towns and selves to be here. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.